Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a tired boy. This is what we're going to use tonight. Got the soap new in the kind of box that I just received. It was a mystery box. Everything else is something I've used before. I just didn't put too much thought into it. Been burning the midnight oil lately, and now it's time to go to sleep. Astra Superior Platinum, not too many uses on it. Rawr from Otter, a great soap maker. My Taj boar brush from Semogue. It's a Semogue Owners Club. Get him back in the water. My brushed stainless steel WR2 85 gap, something like that. It'll be on the description. And this is the H3 handle, I believe, from Wolfman. Go ahead and get the Astra in here. I love this brushed finish. I mean, the shiny looks good, but I really like this brushed as well. And this is a lower gap than his standard. And I look forward to trying more blades in it. Try to find some that are comfy and smooth. And I think maybe the post shave we'll use will be Sharp Dressed Man from Stirling. We'll see. We'll just see how I feel at the end. All right, let me get my face wet. It's got some bit of darkness and color. Not a big deal, of course. Just depends on the oils that were used and things like that. Shake out some of the water from the brush. Dandelions. What else did the notes say? Let's do a 30-second load. I started at 21, so we'll go to 51. Orange. Some orange in there. Something woody. 10 more seconds. Really liking this brush. Softening up really well. I clean the tub here. I can't remember exactly the other notes, but the idea behind the scent accord was how the noble otter main guy has this tradition with his kids where his little sons hide, and when he comes home from work they hide and they surprise him and jump out and try to scare him, and he acts like he's really been gotten. And they just get a kick out of it. And I can totally see that because I do that with my kids too. And so he just putting together some scents that kind of reminded him of his kids and fatherhood and fun times, and picking dandelions outside. Kids like oranges. I will put the scent list down in the description of the video, but like I said, this is kind of an easygoing shave. We're not going to be too analytical, so I didn't write down the notes so that I'd be able to tell them to you, so it'll kind of be a blind. It's a nice scent, a little bit of warmth to it, some fruitiness. 2 teaspoons of water now in it. went to get my hand x-rayed from the accident. You can maybe see a little bump right there between the two middle knuckles. The doctor looked at the x-rays and said that there wasn't a breakage. So at least there's that. You know, I had a car wreck a few days ago, I guess a week ago. The swelling has definitely gone down than what it once was. But since it was still bothering me, I decided to have it looked at. Went to the local urgent care that had a kind of an orthopedic nature to it, and they were able to take the x-ray, confirm that it wasn't anything really bad. He said that if it doesn't go away in 2 weeks, then it might be something to do with tendons, and I would want to set up another, we actually did set up another appointment with the doctor, and he said if it goes away in a week and a half or 2 weeks, then just cancel the appointment. But if it's still there, then maybe it needs to be looked at further. Could be a little, hematoma, a little pocket of blood because of the trauma. 4 teaspoons now into the lather. And that just needs to be absorbed into the body. And more than likely, that's what it is. Now, I'm getting some nice scent coming up from this. It almost looked like it wasn't going to be enough lather, but I just kind of, out of faith, kept adding water to it. And as you can see, it is not too wet. It's glossy. It's got that sheen to it, but it is not too wet. Let's just go with this, because this is a lazy shave where we're not trying to be perfect, just trying to enjoy the shave in a casual and quick way. Get my face wet. All right, let's see how the thing works. Oh, it's dripping. Lather might be perfect. Might be a little too wet, but it might be just perfect. So let's just kind of work it into my face. After using those nice badgers for a few days, that Manchuria from Umo, the Thader 2-band, the board definitely feels different. You can feel a little bit more of the fact that it's got a sparser tip density. Not quite as luxuriously soft as the Badger, but this is still a relatively young boar at 45 uses or something like that. The more and more tips are going to split, it's going to become more soft. All right, let's see how the Astra plaid does in the Wolfman WR2. Ooh, hey, there we go. You definitely have some blade feel, but it's very consistent. I don't really feel like I'm in danger of cutting myself. It's not smooth because of that blade feel. But, you know, nobody's perfect, I guess. I wouldn't mind trying to find a WR2 that had a lower gap. This is a non-shaveable area right there, so we can move some of that lather. Oh yeah, that's a really wet lather. Very well hydrated. Very slick. Wet, wet, wet. Nice. You know, it's got some, it does have the dandelions in it, you can tell, but it's got some earthiness to it, as well as that slight floral. Dandelions is not a feminine floral, so I'm cool with that. I think you have the fruity playing into it as well. Now, I thought that I rinsed, got the water out of my goatee. Looking good. Cross grain for the second pass. Since we cut so well, not going to be too much to do in these next few passes, but just kind of top things off. Kind of hunt around and for any strays, any patches where maybe you didn't quite have the right angle. Seems to be a good razor and blade combo. This is just, I think, one of the most beautiful razors out there. It's lean, but not too sharp looking. I like them a little bit clunky looking. I like this handle too. It's functional and good looking. And the third pass. So I ended up hitting this lather right on the head. But Noble Otter is like that. Good soap base. And the board is softening up. I might have let him soak a little bit longer, but you know, I kind of needed to get it done. So I get the florals, but see, there's enough earthy and fruity and other things going on here at the same time that I'm not interpreting it as a feminine scent. All right, last pass. Now this brush is the only Wolfman that I have that I was actually able to order myself. I didn't have to buy it on the used market. For the longest time, he operated on he had a wait list for a while, but that was before I kind of knew that I wanted to try to get one. And then he switched to a random drop system where you just had to be patrolling his website at the right moment. And I never was. And then he switched, maybe 2018? No, maybe it was like September or so of 2019, maybe. He switched and actually had a waiting list. So I jumped on it because I thought, I don't exactly know what I want, but I probably have to wait 6 months before my name comes up. And that's kind of what happened. So this one doesn't really feel like a unified and focused scent profile. Doesn't really mean it's bad though at all. I think I find it enjoyable. I'm going to use it again and try it out. I don't think I'm Too much of the dandelion might be something that trips me up, but I don't know. I'll give that a... If you put your mind, sometimes if you put your mind in certain places, if you were lucky enough to be able to be out in the yard playing with your kids during dandelion season, and you can close your eyes and kind of picture that. You know, maybe you were sitting outside in a chair watching your kids play, and you had an orange that you were peeling, and they'd come up and get a bite and then go back out and play, you know. This might work really well with that mental picture. But in general, I think it's a good scent. I think it's interesting. Definitely going to use it again. I think I like it. I ended up with, you know, I could probably make 2 passes out of what I have left. You can see it's very wet. I kind of think it's perfect. And the only time it was a little too wet was when I had forgotten to clean my goatee of the rinse water. So it kind of washed the lather out a little bit. It's so interesting. What's happening is, when I smell the tub, I smell mostly kind of the dandelions. But when I'm moving around, kind of breathing in the scent, every once in a while, different twists to it, different parts of it are made more evident. I find that really interesting. So I stropped the brush on the towel. It did feel like a different brush at the end of the shave. And if that happens to you, you can do a couple of things. If you like the way it feels at the end, and you wish it felt that way in the beginning, soak it for longer prior to the shave. If it's a finest badger brush, if it's a boar brush, that might be all you need to do. Give it an extra 5 minutes of soaking other than what you're already doing. And then maybe it'll start the shave at that nice soft point and keep it going throughout the whole shave. If it's a little too soft and it's a boar, then give it less soak time and see what that does for you. See what it feels. And there are a few people who don't soak the whole knot. There are a few people who keep maybe the bottom third closest to the handle here. They keep that dry. They only fill the water up to a certain point because they want the bottom part to give the bristles more backbone instead of relaxing too much. So you can do a little customization that way. I personally like a good easy splay, so I soak all of the bristles all the time. A good fit the Astra was with the Wolfman. So here's the H2 handle. And here's the 4 posts that hold the blade in perfect alignment. We'll just clean all that up. And see, look at how elegant and gorgeous this base plate is. It's just tremendous. It's chunky in the right places. I'm just a big fan of this design. I just want one with a smaller gap. I want that smoothness too. Scent strength during the shave, I'd say about a 5 out of 10. I was pretty happy with that. Let's put on this Sharp Dressed Man just for grins. Let's see if it agrees with the Rawr. Got a chance to get a small decant or sample of the original Sharp Dressed Man. And I got to tell you, it's nicer, it's smoother, it's woodier. I think a lot of the guys who use it and as an inspiration, who try to kind of duplicate it, but since they use their own resources to duplicate it, they can't get it exactly right because maybe there's an expensive ingredient that they just can't afford to put into it, you know. So that's how different makers can end up with a different scent when they're all inspired by the same thing. And sometimes the scent is good enough and there are parts to it that resonate with you and you really enjoy it, and in that way it's just as good as the original. Sometimes that fancy ingredient maybe or something just makes it better. And so everybody else, and of course that's subjective sometimes, everybody else's just doesn't quite measure up because they don't have that little edge, and because maybe that's exactly what you are looking for, what resonates with your nose, with your mental picture of the scent. And I think that kind of happened with the Green Irish Tweed. I enjoyed having it as an EDT from Creed, probably more than I like a splash from Stirling, or you know, that sort of thing. Stirling is nice, but I think it focuses a little bit more on the greenish, sharper parts of the note profile, and less on maybe the woody undertones or some of those other types of the accord. Just my guess, my tired guess. All right, I'm going to rinse my stuff out here. Oh, looks like 4 teaspoons of water for 30 seconds of loading gave me a perfect, well-hydrated lather. There we go, guys. It is time to go to sleep. I remember years ago, I was doing a lot of shaving late at night, and after the fact, I thought about renaming my channel like the Sleepy Shaver or something like that. I'm glad I didn't, but for a good many shaves, it would have been very applicable. All right. Semogue Owners Club was really soft. Second and third pass. So I should have maybe soaked him for a little bit longer. Razor was nice. It's a good soap. Good scent. I talked about that already. I'm happy. It was a good shave. It's a great one to end the day with. Good to just grab up kind of random stuff and have it be nice. All right, guys. Well, this is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I sure hope that this video's got some good stuff for you. You guys take care. Have a good night.